So the big news last week was that YouTube Shorts now accounts for more revenue per watch hour than YouTube long form does. So what that means is that if you look at an hour across the time that everybody on YouTube spends on YouTube Shorts, and an hour, if you just slice it out basically out of the day, of an hour of every time that somebody's watching YouTube long, YouTube is making more revenue. They're pulling more money in from advertisers on Shorts than on long form. This was shocking to me because it flipped the entire kind of script on its head. We always thought that short form monetized worse for the platforms than long form did. Now that script has flipped for YouTube. So the question is, will YouTube start prioritizing Shorts more? We kind of thought that maybe, yes, that would be the case. But the real question was, what's the deal for creators? How are creators getting paid, and which one is the better one? Either way, you and I both hypothesized last week that long form was still going to be a better form for monetization for creators because you're accountable to one video. It's a proven method. There's the TV era, so there's a bunch of advertising that's going to be flooding in here soon. But let me kind of give you a quick update, and then I want to kind of hear your thoughts because I know other people have brought this up to you in the last week. So here's what I learned about how YouTube pays out Shorts today in 2025. Number one, ads are pooled between all Shorts. So if you imagine how you're watching Shorts, you watch a short, you watch another short, you watch another short, and then an ad pops up in your feed. Then you watch another, and then another, and then another, and then another, and then an ad pops up in your feed. So how do you split the money that advertiser paid in that one amongst all of the other people that you've watched? Well, what they do is they pool all that money together between all of them. Then what they do, they don't even pay the creator next. They pay the music labels next because music is such a big thing in short form. And then what happens is that the creator pool is then split by view share. I don't even think it's split by watch time share. So you get 45% of that. So you get a split of a split of a split, basically. And there may be even one more layer than that. It gets a little more complicated with YouTube Premium and other things like that, but you are really kind of spread thin across all of the things, and I want to hear your reaction to that.
So much I want to break down here.
Go.
Number one, and I don't want to dive into the details of monetization, but just think about how convoluted this is. You have to make those splits, and specifically the music share one, even if you don't use music. So think about it. If you're somebody that's just a talking head video and you just want to talk to the people, let's say like someone like a John Cortese in Seattle, right? I don't know if he uploads to YouTube Shorts or not. He's somebody that always breaks the news for the Seattle area, hitting hot spots and talk about dope restaurants, clubs, events, whatever. Doesn't need music. So that means, say he has the type of video because he has like a loyal audience that people watch the whole thing. It doesn't matter if they watch the whole thing or not versus a person that just uses a viral piece of music, right? A song from I was going to say a hip rapper. How old does that sound? A hip rapper. Okay.
Title.
And gets viral. Okay. Doesn't even really have a lot of value or a lot of effort compared to someone like a John who's, got like a lot of, valuable information or whatever. And it takes longer to produce because it's just based off of views, not about audience view duration or length or whatever like that. So on two fronts, you're already losing out.
Yes.
Let's reverse back about why I think this is a bad thing for creators in general. It's good for YouTube, okay? YouTube, like creators, like every other human is, when you make more money from something, you're more likely to do it, okay? It's their business model. Ads are their business model.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this gets like kind of crazier in terms of its significance. But they're telling you it works, so they're going to really ramp it up, okay? Secondly, the whole breakdown for creators and how they make money from it, it's so convoluted compared to what? On long form, an ad runs, you get some of that ad, it's 45, 55, I believe, pretty straight up, right? You can kind of almost even investigate like, hey, am I getting paid enough, whatever, okay?
Yes, yeah.
It's all in the analytics. But with YouTube Shorts, it's there. How do you even do the analytics? Like, I've been part of a pool like this before. You knew that, right?
I didn't know that.
When Judy was part of a special campaign with a big brand in the early days, one of the big ones, they did this. They had a group of creators and they would pull all the campaign like budget for just these creators, and it was based off of just views. So the trick was just get more views. Well, guess what? Judy got a viral video.
Yes.
So she got this huge payday, and everyone else got small paydays, and it was worse. See, it would have been better than the average, AdSense payout, unless somebody got a majority of the views.
Yes.
So Judy went viral, had many videos that like got lots of views. So the payouts were crazy big for her.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it went back to normal life when the campaign was over. So it told me because the views stayed the same.
Yes.
The views stayed the same. Their AdSense went down. But during that era where we were part of this pooled campaign of funds, it was really good. Okay. So I know how this works. I'm not just guessing this. It's not good for most people unless you're a viral hit. So, okay, that I'm going to get back to that. Okay. And the third thing is, if they're making more money off of that and it's working for the platform, there's it's highly likely they're going to start running more shorts, which, by the way, tell me if you're watching on your feeds, I am saying 6 and 8 short.
Yeah. Me
result.
Too. And by the way, it's the first thing every single time when I open
and
up my
I've never
YouTube
seen
app.
it before.
Yes.
So before this announcement, maybe for a week, I just didn't notice it. But for sure, I always counted. I was like, how many shorts are they going to show me? So I always like take screenshots, send it to you.
Yes.
Take a note. Now it's 6 to 8. Not always. Sometimes it's 4 still. But like you said, it's always first. Okay. Today, finally, I didn't send it to you. I saw my non-shorts first result, but it wasn't even a long video. It was a playlist.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was just a playlist.
I've never seen that.
So there's evidence of this actually happening. Okay. Now, why this is bad for the creator? We already talked about the AdSense part. Okay. What about the competition? What's funny is even though the AdSense isn't necessarily going to go up for you, we already know it doesn't pay out a lot for short form creators. This announcement, is it going to motivate creators to come in and make more shorts, or is it going to demotivate?
It will likely motivate them.
So you're going to get even more competition, right?
Yes.
And word's going to get out. I'm getting more views, which hopefully in turn gets you more AdSense, but still it's like pennies compared to long form. But third, what do we talk about? AI.
In what way?
There's more AI content now. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about recommendation.
I don't know this because, of course, they wouldn't announce it. But what if part of them pushing short form is because they know there's more AI content that people are consuming? Just think about how you're swiping through and we don't know what's AI or not. Okay. And they also have their own AI, like video generation platform too. Maybe it's not as good as Sora, but it's getting there. And that's not the point. The point is they know it's coming. So
Yes.
they want to be ready for it. They want to be able to capture all of it. Hence why they're pushing it. And then ultimately, all that goes down to the device.
Yes.
Short form is just better formatted for the phone, no matter what. No matter how much I want people to watch long form on the phone, as much as my vlogs are viewed on the phone, it's vertical. People swipe through. It's cleaner. This is why TikTok is winning on the phone.
Yes.
In general, for short form content, because it's perfectly, and there's no other options. So I really believe that this is not necessarily good for creators, but for short form creators, it gives you an opportunity for more eyeballs because it's being pushed more. But guess what it's going to do? It's going to drive those people that want long form, I think, to other devices, computer, laptop, tablets, and the television. Okay.
Yes.
So long form's not going away because what happens? Let me ask you this. How often have you like swiped through short form kind of like brain rot sessions?
Oh, a few times a week, honestly.
And have you ever just stopped watching it because you're like, this is too much?
Oh, totally.
That's everyone.
Yes.
Eventually, right? Kids right now are in school. And do you know there's this whole kind of renaissance where kids are like, we know this brain rot is bad for us. Kids, teenagers in high school. Have you heard of this?
That, yeah.
And they're making the conscious efforts like, I'm not going to consume this. Some people are deleting TikTok off. Neutrally, sorry, our resident young person, if you're on here, okay, tell me if this is true. Come on camera. Have you ever heard from friends of yours or people you or like observed this culture, I guess you could say, this behavior of cutting the short form platform altogether, or even just like saying, acknowledging this is not good for me, so I'm going to watch something else?
Yeah, it goes back to like the brain rot thing. A lot of people are getting a little bit jaded about it, and they're actually going back to long form format, so just YouTube and everything. And yeah, like you said, they are cutting out short form content from their life.
Yeah. And he represents the 20 million college students in the country. I don't know how many there are. But my point is that good for a short form creator? Because you know what? Most people don't quit long form. It's just, it's so different, right? Like
long form is going to be around forever. I'm just telling you,
it's
Benji,
not
it
only-
will definitely be
well,
around
because
forever.
also there's different like variations. Short form ultimately, like you said, just becomes a commodity. It's all becomes kind of the same thing. You know how I know this is true? Because I was trying to observe YouTube in a private private viewing window, like so not signed in. Okay. And it makes you type in something. Okay.
Yes.
So of course, when you type something in, lots of shorts comes up. Oh, actually, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I forgot my phone somewhere. So I was on Judy's old phone.
Wow.
And I didn't want to watch on her thing, right? So I was like, hey, let me just sign in or whatever. First off, same thing. Shorts gets pushed right away. Not long form, shorts. Okay. It doesn't know who I am. It knows I searched something, and then boom. It was Taekwondo. I wanted to see Taekwondo content. So then I do click on, not really willingly. I was just like, there's so much short form Taekwondo content. Let me just check one of these out. Normally I would do long form, but also I was like in that kind of brain rot session. Okay. I clicked through. You know how quickly it got off of Taekwondo? Like pretty damn quickly.
Oh, totally.
Like after 2 or 3.
Yes.
And all the content was the exact same. It doesn't know who I am. And I know Judy's not watching this content. I know what stuff she likes, what's on her feed. And I was like, wow, this is what the algorithm thinks like the whole wants to see. It's like all the same thing. All the same like background music. You know, there's always those like certain songs that you use. Have you heard the one? Jet 2 Holiday.
Yes,
Have you heard that?
yeah.
Right? Like everyone's using these like
The trends, basically. The trending
thing.
sounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, first off, when you get introduced to short form content, shorts or TikTok, this is what you see. And then after you go through everything else you want to watch and like you're researching or searching for, guess what? It goes back to this, I bet you. Like you just end on this brain rot. I was seeing brain rot in its like purest form. It doesn't happen on long form.
Yeah.
Because like, you're not going to spend an hour or 2 on brain rot because that's way too long. You're going to pick something that's good for you. It doesn't mean it's going to be educational, informal, informational, geopolitics or history or calculus. It could just be like a topic, but still, it's a topic that has to deliver value. It's got to be entertaining. It's got to be funny. So, and this can go like from shorter videos, 10, 20 minutes, to 30 to 60-minute videos, to long podcasts, to shows and movies. And this is why short form is going through this interesting phase where it's blowing up. In fact, like YouTube's pushing it more. But I'm telling you, this actually makes long form even more significant because this is going to make brain rot happen faster on YouTube.
Oh, interesting.
That it didn't happen. Oh, that, you know, like it was already happening on TikTok. People are getting off of TikTok, right? You hear more people saying, I'm quitting TikTok. I'm getting off of TikTok. You rarely hear that about YouTube. So people are going to say that about YouTube Shorts. But guess what? When they turn on the TV, let me see what's on YouTube. They're not thinking shorts because they never watch shorts on the YouTube. Anyways, that's just my theory. So this is why it's good and bad.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's the natural way of things because what is driving YouTube? Money.
Yes.
It's making them more money. They're like, hey, let's crank it up. And you saw the crank up actually happen in real time. And now the question is, well, what happens to long form? And does it get eaten up by the short form on the device viewing? And then how does it affect what's happening on the TV?
Are you familiar with the term form factor?
Form factor, like what's the form that's best for this, like the fact of this, like
It's
device
basically
or-
the form that something takes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So like the people will talk back in the days, there was the form factor of the iPhone. Is it, or the form factor of a phone? Is it like an iPhone where it's a screen, right, and a home button? Or is it like a
yeah.
razor that flips open like an old fashioned flip phone? Those are all form factors,
Yeah.
right?
Form factor is like the physical version of UI, right? User interface.
Basically, yeah. Like what is, and a lot of times they talk about it in terms of something that's physical because it's like they tend to fall in categories. That are
Right.
very
It's like
clear.
the PlayStation controller versus like the Nintendo control. It's a little bit different.
So there's your word of the day, form factor. And I bring it up because what you're talking about is the exact way that people talk about how form factor influences everything else about the behavior of usage of the way that things that are used in terms of tech products. So one example of that is very simple, which is like something like the DJI Osmo or like the iPhone, right? The DJI Osmo is very popular because you hold it the way that your hand is used to holding things, which is gripping it vertically and it pops up just like you would hold like a stick or something like that, like a hockey stick maybe. The iPhone traditionally has always been held the exact same way, vertically. They've always been held up and down, right? This, I think, is one of the most significant things that people do not discuss, especially in the creator world. This is why I make it the term of the day, is the split between TV and mobile form factors. As YouTube grows on the TV, and this is exactly what you were getting at, I'm just highlighting it here, the TV will never flip vertically. In fact, we had creator friends that were guessing for years that the TVs were going to start flipping vertically. I think it's just not ever going to happen because it's not the right form factor for the viewing behavior of the TV. The phone will almost always be vertical. You can always turn it sideways. That's always going to be something you can do. But 99% of the time when you're using your phone, you're going to be holding it in your hand, looking at it up and down. This means that I think that as YouTube gets more profitable on the short side of things, the thing that is going to define viewing behavior more than ever before is the form factor of the device that you're viewing on. And creators don't think about that enough. Creators who are making shorts are going to be viewed on their phone. Frankly, I think that's just bottom line what's going to happen. And by the way, vice versa is always true. YouTube's not going to split out a shorts app. It's just that people are going to be mostly watching shorts on their phones. On the flip side, people who make long form horizontal videos are likely going to be shown on the TV, and they're going to be part of the new movement that YouTube represents, the new TV era of the entire industry, basically the YouTube era, the TV era. So as you create, this is sort of my call to action for creators, think about where you want to be seen and how you want to be seen and where you fit into someone's life based off of those viewing habits, right? If you're the type of person who wants to spend a lot of time with people hanging out at the end of the day and be the one singular focus of that person, or maybe a potential one or two focus of that person for a long period of time, build your stuff for the TV. Think about what it means. Like when you watch TV, what are you looking for? How does your content reflect that? If you want to be passing by, if you want to be one of the people who's getting lots of volume of content, build for the phone. Think about how, any type of thing you see on TikTok shows up on that side of things. And so more and more, I think that creators should start thinking about things in terms of viewing behavior and in terms of understanding what device their videos are being watched on, more than am I building something that's traditional long form that's going to be viewed on the phone versus something that's like shorts.
I think that's mostly true, but I'll ask you a question that I think that would show that regardless if you think that way or not, you'd still be winning as long as you're creating something valuable that is longer. Have you ever watched a longer piece of content, whether it's a podcast or really long video, and you weren't at home?
Absolutely.
Okay. And will you keep it playing on your phone, even if you're walking and listening to it? Or maybe you're like playing it as like, for a good example would be, say like you're in the kitchen, you don't have a TV in there, you bring your phone over, you're doing dishes and you're letting it play. And then after that, you have to go somewhere, but you're like, oh, this is so interesting. So you let it play on the way to there. All right. And then maybe you're talking to somebody, ordering coffee, and then you finally sit down and now you're waiting for this guy to show up, but he's late, and you just keep that thing playing.
Totally.
And you're using what?
The phone at that point.
Okay. Neutrally, your turn. Neutrally, have you ever, and come on camera, have you ever watched a long piece of content on your phone on YouTube?
Of course.
Okay. Have you ever watched a long piece of content in different places because it was so long you couldn't finish it at that place that you first started, whether it was at home or on the bus or in class. Like you kept it playing, or you pause it on your way to somewhere and then you just pick it up because it's so interesting.
Yes.
So valuable, right? And remember, this is in the midst of you could pick TikTok or YouTube Shorts, but you didn't. Why did you choose to watch or listen to this long piece of content versus choosing TikTok and YouTube Shorts?
It goes back to what YouTube's plan is to get you there, to make you stay there, and to make you come back. And that's
but why?
But why you? I'm
Why
curious about
you?
that
Why
too.
this long video? What was it about this long video that you liked?
It has. I value what the video has
There you go.
content wise more.
And guess what doesn't have that? Short form. TikTok and Shorts, they can't even come close. It's like this.
What you're saying, though, really quickly, they don't have the flexibility to go between the TV, the computer, and the phone, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, but why? It's because it comes down to this. Have you eaten a fancy dinner before?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. If you eat like a 10-course meal, which I'm sure you've had something like that before, right?
Yeah.
How long does it take?
Oh, hours.
Hours. Let's just call it an hour.
Sure,
Okay.
an hour.
An hour. Is there any way the 30-second version of that meal would even come close to the hour experience?
No, in fact, actually, part of the experience is the amount of time I spend with it, I think.
Totally, right? You could say it's the people you're with, it's the drinks you're having between the food. Maybe it's like tasting it when it first comes out on the plate, it's hot, and then by the time the end, all the sauce is ever, so you're just mixing. It's like a whole different experience, right? It's the whole that makes it special, okay? So then say, and guess what? A perfect example of this is Costco samples. How much of a tease is a Costco sample? We love it, right?
Yeah.
When we're out there shopping for Costco, we're shopping for Costco, we're shopping for products. And then like just recently they had chicken salad samples. Like, whoa, some protein? I'm for that. And I've never had the chicken salad samples. I had it, but guess what? What happens after you eat that chicken salad sample?
I want more.
You want more, but you can't because guess what you're doing? You're shopping. They look at you weird. You're only supposed to have one. Maybe you can have two, right? But that's the point. Versus if you actually are at home and have a full chicken salad, chicken salad, you don't have a sample anymore. You have the full serving, okay? That's what I'm saying. It can be one dish, one serving, or it could be a 10-course meal, and you only get that on long form. Short form doesn't give you that ability. Now, what have they done to compete with that? They've upped the length of short form, okay? But why aren't creators doing longer short forms?
There's a whole bunch of reasons.
Yeah, but there's
why.
only one that's
The
most
simplest
important.
one that I can think of is that it's not the viewing behavior. People don't sit
No,
there
it's
and
not
watch
even
it.
that.
Oh, tell me. I don't know.
Creators aren't getting paid. See, at one point, the creator got to get paid because they got to run a business, they got to pay the bills, and they've got to make it sustainable. Now, then the other question was like, oh, what about short form brand deals? There's a lot of brand deals. Well, word on the street right now is brand deals are a little bit slow. It's not paying as much. There's a lot of competition. It's like you went from one battlefield, front to a whole nother one, right? Versus before you got through there and then you got a little breathing room and then you could start building a business, you build a brand, AdSense, brand deals, sell products. With short form, it's just such an ongoing battle forever, okay? So you got to get paid.
Yeah.
Because I actually agreed with Matt. It's Matt who said that the TV would go vertical. And he was the one that also said vertical would be long form too. I actually agree because guess what? We do use our phone to watch long form. But if the creator doesn't get paid, what is the number one thing that all social media platforms get, but YouTube included, especially that all the other stream platforms don't get that we say is their number one advantage?
AdSense?
user generated content.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They don't have to produce the shows or the movies, or in the case of, short form shorts or
You're
long
talking about
form.
YouTube versus Netflix rather than YouTube versus, yeah.
Well, why is it? Why is it that creators were willing to put stuff onto YouTube to the point where like production studios and Hollywood, they're like, why the heck are these people doing this? They got paid.
Yes.
AdSense was the base. I've said this forever. The reason YouTube has won is because AdSense gives you a little base layer, right? It's like a concession, right, to like doing the thing, but it's a start. Because the problem with Hollywood is there was nothing like that. How many times do you have a pilot episode, right? Or whatever, you get your first audition, and how many auditions to finally get to a point where you kind of get paid. Every actor has a story, right? It's almost like stupid when you hear an actor say, I made a lot of money in my first movie. No, it doesn't happen like that. Well, on YouTube, actually, you can actually get paid. Minimal, right? Because it's not a lot of views, but it's a little bit start, right? That's why a kid is more likely to succeed than somebody that has bills, a family, other priorities to take care of. My point is this: it's all simple. YouTube is very simple in this sense. Yeah, there's other variables, there's nuances, timing matters, but at the end of the day, the reason short form creators don't turn into super long form, even though the platforms give them the ability to, look at TikTok.
Yeah.
I think it's 15 minutes, but you don't really hear of people. Why? Because they're not getting paid. And if they get paid, it's short term, or it's a shared pool of funds or whatever. On YouTube, the sky's the limit. In fact, it's even better now. You do a 2-hour episode like I've been experiencing at the hour length, you get more ads. You get paid more. So you're making up for the expense and the time and the effort of making a longer piece of content versus if you did that on short form. Guess what? First off, you gotta get put in a pool, and then secondly, music people get paid first, and then you share with everybody. And remember, with long form content, is it always about the amount of views? No. Sometimes you don't get very many views, but you get a core audience that watches the whole thing. So then, your one shared ad with, 10 other creators, if you get more views, you're going to get paid more, right? Your one view on YouTube long form is shared with nobody but YouTube. You get the ad revenue on that. But if you have a really long video and you get, in my case sometimes, 10 to 15 ads, you get all that 100%, but after you pay the gatekeeper, which is YouTube. But you always have to pay the gatekeeper no matter what. In this case, there's just less sharing. In fact, there's no sharing with any other creators. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a logic person. I'm not a data person, but I'm just like a real life person. But if you look at it logically and you look at it based on the data, why aren't more people doing long form, short form, right? Longer TikToks. Why are they doing now 1 to 3 hour videos? They're getting paid.
I think it boils down to the idea that you on YouTube, when you're doing long form, directly earn the attention that you're going for. In fact, I would say more and more when I think about long form, the idea of views is kind of a pointless metric nowadays. Now, don't get me wrong, you need views to get anything else, right? Getting a click and keeping people watching is important, but I'm going to continue advocating more and more that watch time is the number one thing that you need to pay attention to as a long form creator on YouTube, because shorts has polluted the game when it comes to view counts overall. I bring this up because we have a course that teaches you how we think you can take advantage the most easily of the big opportunity that YouTube represents. Because it's not just the fact that there's this split between long form and short form. It's the fact that YouTube is the number one streaming platform and the number one platform on the TV overall. This represents the biggest opportunity that has ever been available to people who are posting as creators on YouTube. And we help you take advantage of it at Vlogging Academy. Vlogging Academy is Benji's 3-prong course that takes you through the exact process that he uses to create vlogs using what he calls the new vlogging method. There's 3 pieces of it. There is a theme for your channel, a topic and takeaway for every video, and the ability to tell the right stories. These 3 keys are what you need in order to simplify your process more than I have when I've done my videos, but simplify your process and make it so that way you can create as much as you can, learn the YouTube algorithm, and get going and get as close to as you can to getting that watch time, making that AdSense money as fast as possible. We've had hundreds of students take this course, and some of them have been able to keep that consistency up and actually get to the level where they're doing things like paying off car payments or getting brand deals. And we really think that this is the best way to take advantage of the opportunity if you start now, because the opportunity is not always going to be there. So if you're interested, what else should we know about it, Benji?
It gets worse.
What do you mean?
Well, we just said the reason people do long form and super long form now is because it's like a very fair way of getting paid through AdSense on YouTube, and why people will stop, why there's a ceiling. Okay. But then there's a lot of people that just keep going on shorts. Why is that? If getting paid is a motivator, right? We know you don't get paid from AdSense, or at least it's not very lucrative, or it's like a convoluted system. Why do people keep doing short form? Why do short form creators still keep creating and like doing one upload to 2 uploads to 5 uploads? And we've heard up to 10 a day uploads. Why would they do that? What's the opportunity there beyond AdSense?
Brand deals.
Okay, let's talk about brand deals.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Brand Deal. Love it. I've been doing it forever. And it's very lucrative. 7 figures, okay? And beyond, multiple 7 figures. People build a whole business around it. But what have we seen with short form creators and brand deals? They have all done exactly what you said, which you just become a commodity. They have become commercials. When I see brand deals right now, all I see from the brand's perspective, this is a commercial I can download this. I can put it through the ad machine and run it through the same user interface, the same viewing as any other thing. And guess what? It'll say the brand's name on the channel, even though it has the influencer's face in the video. We don't know the difference, but we do. Why? Because there's a little logo that says ad or sponsored. And then guess what you do as a viewer? You just swipe through. So it gets so dang competitive. Right now, this is what I'm seeing. It's so crazy competitive, not just from a short form creator standpoint for regular views, but even the brands. They're just going all volume. They've gotten so used to the creator making them a commercial that is the whole play. It's not about creativity, right?
No.
Well, on long form, it kind of is. But you know what's funny? In my discussions of doing brand deals on long form, even then, I'm seeing my conversations with the brands completely different than 10 years ago. 10 years ago, they really did care about what is your idea or whatever, okay? Because that's all they could do, right? Like they wanted to judge. Now it's like, they're not even like thinking creative idea. They're just like, yeah, we're getting a commercial. Whatever you make, it's going to be a commercial, right? We're testing it against 100 other short form creators, running ads on all of them, and they're just picking the winners. And it might not always be the most influential one, because guess what? The one that maybe doesn't have much influence might be more creative, and that wins on the ad retention side of it. So why do I bring this up? Well, guess if that's the case, and everyone's just a commercial and it's a commodity, then it's like a volume game, right? It's not about the creator anymore. It's about who has the best thing based off of the data. Then you're like, you don't even have identity. And let's not even talk about the fact that nobody even remembers who you are. All short form creators know what I'm talking about. They don't know your name, but they know the video, right? They know the viral hit, but they've never gone to your channel to freaking care about who you are, you know? So that's what I'd say. That's why I mean it's worse. So Vlogging Academy, why that is so timely right now is because it teaches you how to do long form in an easier way through vlogging. But it's like the first step towards all long form. Because if you think about the most successful creators, they all were vloggers at the beginning, even if they didn't call themselves vloggers. Because what is a vlog? It's a video blog, right? It's just a video version of something that you're interested in, that other people are interested in, and then boom, you go to town. Even if it's entertainment, okay? YouTube, what's funny about it is, they shouldn't have called it YouTube, just called it VlogTube, because that's what it was at the very beginning.
Yeah.
YouTube was just, I mean, it's a good name. Like, no, I'm just saying it's more representative of what was going on. Amateur hour stuff that no one really took seriously. But guess what? 20 years later, people watch hours and hours and hours of cute content and they love it. And it partly is they're just escaping the short form platforms, even if it's on the same platform like YouTube. They don't watch YouTube shorts, and like Neutrally, they're watching whatever drumming, tutorial from place to place to place, even though they could quickly just get 10 shorts form versions of that thing, because people want the whole 10 course meal, not the Costco sample. I love Costco, but in this case, it's not where you want to be. You don't go to Costco for the meal unless you're getting the hot dog, right? But even the hot dog's not like the 10 course. You get what I'm saying.
If you want to learn about how to take advantage of this big opportunity, you can go to vloggingacademy.com and just learn more. We talk a little bit about what's going on there. We have a little bit of explanation about what it goes on in our course. But really, fundamentally, just know that this is the new vlogging method, and it takes advantage of the biggest opportunity ever. Thanks to the students of Vlogging Academy who help make this show possible.